Before we get started on changing tires and tubes on a bicycle wheel, you got to get the wheel off the bike. The most challenging is the rear wheel because of the chain and the derailleur. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to get your rear wheel off and get it back on. And sometimes on the road it's a little difficult because you have to support the bike while you do this, but you're going to have a lot less trouble if you can shift the chain from the big inner cog on the rear cassette to the small outer cog. And I'm about to demonstrate how to do that and put the wheel back on so you can use this later. Get your chain shifted to the small cog. And you're going to find out it's going to be a lot easier to get the wheel on and off. Brake to open the rear wheel quick release, drop it straight out. There you go. Just on the inner cog, it's going to hang up on the gears and stuff, and you're going to fight with it. And to get it back on, you're going to try to line the chain up as best you can with that small cog, and you're going to see it drops right back into the dropouts, or into the dropouts. Close your quick release, don't forget to do that, and close your brake lever so that your brakes work properly. And there you go. And that's all there is to that. Let's move on. Good morning, everybody. This is Alan of Smith Multisport. At putting a tire and a tube on a rim that needs new ones. As you can see, this rim is a good old low profile wheel used on a road bike, and we're going to be putting a brand new tire, a Hutchinson Nitro 2 723, and got it at a local bike shop for 20 bucks. That's a deal. Hutchinson are good tires. So today we're going to go over what it takes to get a wheel with a new tire and a new tube as easy as possible. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the tube out of the box. Makes sense, huh? And again, got this in my local bike shop. It's a Presta valve, 32 millimeter with it's a 17, 18 to 23. About the valve length on this low profile wheel that we're going to be working with. As you can see, 32 is going to be just fine. However, on the deep profile wheels like my Zip 404s, you're going to need a 60 or a 65 or 70 millimeter. So we'll get to that later. Now once you get the tube out of the box, take a look at something. You're going to have to take the cap off, and you're also going to take the retaining nut to keep it from the stem from dropping down inside the rim if that's a problem. So before you put the new tube on the wheel itself, you need to put a little air in the tube. Now in order to be reasonably successful pumping up tires, you need a pretty good bike pump. What I have here is a Blackburn, and they have really good lifetime warranties, and this for instance has been a replacement because my original Blackburn went bad, and I contacted Blackburn. They sent me a brand new pump. It's got a steel shaft, great gauge, and a very good pressure head. Now on to the topic here. In order to put a little air in your tire, you're going to put your head on the stem, you're going to flip the lever like this, and then you're going to pump a little air in there. You don't want a lot. You just want enough, so you're getting just enough in there, as you can see, to pump it up so it's not all scrunched up and flat. So at that point, you can take the pressure head off. Now, before you put your tire on, which you're going to put it on first in one bead, then you can put the tube in place, you got to check the rim. You got to check the rim tape. And you're going to do that. You're going to run your fingers around it and make sure that none of the nipple holes are broken through. That's going to cause you to have flats down the road. And if you don't have good rim tape, then what you need to do is go to your local bike shop and get some more. Worst case, order yourself some. Now you're going to take your tire, you're going to sit it on the bead like this and work it around so you have one bead on the rim So you G around, work, get the tire completely on the rim, one bead at a time. Okay, once you have the tire on the rim, what you need to do is locate the rim hole, and then you're going to put your tube in place. Alright, and the rim hole is just right over here. Stick the stem down through the hole. Once you have the tube in place, again, you'll start working the other bead onto the rim, and it's usually a fairly tight fit, and you shouldn't have any problem doing it by hand until you get to the very end of it. And when that happens, strong thumbs, go about rolling it in place for the final few inches using tire levers. And I have a few here in my pocket. I like the Pedros because they have a metal bar through the middle of them. And what you do then at that point is you come in here and you hook it under the rim and you start working it in. You got to be really careful though, because if you're not careful, you're going to wind up pinching the tube itself, and then you got to replace your tube. So you come in here, you work it in, you get it in place, and you can probably do the last little bit again with your thumbs. There you go. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to take that little nut you took off the tube itself at the beginning and spin it down onto the stem. This is going to help keep your stem exposed while you put air in the tube with the tire pump. Well now, in order to pump up your tire and get up the proper pressure, you're going to put the head on it this way and you'll flip the lever upwards. And at that point, you're going to firmly start pumping the tire. And be conscious of the amount of pressure you're using there, because as you've seen by the photographs I took, there is a certain amount of pressure these tires are good at, and you run the risk of popping the tube if you go above that pressure. And I've got my marker set at 110, so I'm just under 110, and that way it'll ensure me when I'm on the road I got enough air in it that I'm not going to be bottom out and pinch flat and whatever else. So at this point you need to remove the head and then put the cap back on it. Screw the press the valve down, put your cap on it, and there you go. You can put it back on the bike now. So there you go. That's what it takes to put a new tube and a new tire on a rim. And it's the exact same process, but in reverse. If you have a flat on the road, you're going to use the same tools to get one bead of the tire off, remove your tube, put a new tube in, or worst case, even patch it with some scabs or some other patching tape of some sort. Alright, so if you have any questions, get in touch with me. Let's try this again. Hey there, I wanted to clarify something in the original video about putting the tube inside the tire. I didn't really go into much detail. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and find the stem hole, which is right here, and of course put the stem in the stem hole. That always helps. And then you want to start working the tube into your tire, round and around and around, just all neatly in place. And you want to try not to get your tube crimped. It's probably not going to hurt it in most cases. However, it's not really going to help it. So get your tube in as straight as you possibly can. If you have to take a few extra seconds to do it, you know, I get it. And sitting on the side of the road sometimes, that's not a real happy thing, but hey, better than being trapped with another flat. So you work the bead after the tube's in place. Go ahead, work the bead of the tire back onto the rim till you get to the point where your fingers may not be strong enough. And if that's the case, then you may want to take a tire tool. In this case, on this tire, I'm able to do a pretty good job by simply rolling it with my thumbs. And there you go. See you later on the road.